Hi, now I have 2 L's on my canvas and I'm going to cut them. Now normally I wouldn't be able to cut them this size because if you look, it's 11.7 wide and it's 14.973 inches long, and this one's very similar, I think 14.6, and I've made it 11.7 wide. Now I can do this only because with the Smart Vinyl it cuts to 11.7 inches across, and you can cut in one single length up to 12 feet. So I'm only doing about 30 inches here, and so that's very good. And when I take it through to the naked screen, you'll see that being both black, they are both on one screen, and I'll just see, yes, I can scroll down here, and I can scroll down and see, and this is showing quite black on a very, very dark grey black screen, so that I can see what's going to be cut. It will also tell me over here in the material size, it says I need 13 inches in width by 31.5 inches in height, and it actually tells me the height here, so it's assuming that I'm going to be working in the smart materials because of the size I've chosen. Now it says smart materials and it says without mat here, so it's assuming that I have got the smart material in and it's going to be cut without a mat. I may have already selected that, but I've just gone through, so I will see if it comes up again. It says here without mat 13 by 31. It knows that I've got to cut it without a mat because we don't have a mat that's 31 inches. We've only got a mat that's 24. So it says mirror off, and I can edit that if I want to. Now it's telling me to select my Cricut device, and I'm going to select this one. And I'm hoping that I've still got my machine on, but no, I haven't, and that's why it's not going through. So I'll put my machine on, it might help, and you'll hear it going on in the background. So now I have to wait for it to come up, just so that I can show you the next screen. Now it's recognised the one I've got. Now it's telling me I could do it on smart sticker paper, or I could do it on smart vinyl removable. I've actually done it on the smart vinyl, so I'm going to select that and then select the button that cuts it on the machine, and I will be back with you shortly. Back with you shortly to show you it cutting. Hi, this is Flo again, and I've got a very large roll of vinyl up here on my roll holder. Now the roll holder, which I will have a video to show you how it goes. Now there is a little gap in the roll holder down here, and I've threaded the vinyl through, and as you see it goes through there, and I'm just going to make sure that that goes under that catch over that side, and it rolls through and it comes up to the star wheels, and I pull it through, and that is now, it has actually looked and seen whether it's going to pull the vinyl through now, and now it's going to bring it back out to me, and I can roll it back onto the vinyl roll if I want to, and then it's going to start, well, it's going to start as soon as I press the little button. So I'll press that now and set it going. I've got two very large owls on here. I made them 11.7 wide so that I could utilise the whole width of the cutting area, and they turned out to be around about, can't remember how long, but the two of them actually take up 31 inches of vinyl. So if I was having to do that, I wouldn't be able to do it without using two long mats. So I'm just watching how this goes, and I'm showing it to you in real time. It does seem to be going zap across there, and I am assuming that it's going to wind itself up at the back. I do have a good 10 inches of room out the back, and I can see how this is, and you can probably see it as well, how this is going up and down with on the roll holder and coming back and forth. So as it's going through, it's coming back up and down. There is a cutter on the roll holder that you can see there, and at the end of the cut I will cut the vinyl off with the roll holder to show you how that works. The roll holder sits on the front of either of the machines of the three. The Explore 3 is the one that I'm using currently, which is in a pale mint green, very pretty colour, and beside that, which is just out of sight, is the Maker 3, and it fits on the front of the Maker 3 as well. I did wonder whether when you put the roll in the holder, whether it would go down and go underneath the little gauges, but as you just saw, it feeds out and comes back underneath the gauges really well. You do have to check that it's gone underneath the gauges, because if you don't check that, you may find that it hasn't, and you don't want to wreck things. So it's always good to do that last final check to make sure that things are going well, and as you're feeding this in with your fingers, it's easy enough to just put it over. Now, as you can imagine, it's cutting 31 inches of vinyl, so it will probably take a wee while. I'm going to leave this in real time so that you can see. I will bring it out onto my desktop, so hopefully you might be able to see them, but I'll definitely show you them once I put them up, because they're going to go on the door inside. And you can see I haven't got my design space where I can see it, so I don't know how far through it is at the moment, but I'll just go over to design space and see how far the cutting is. Oh, it's nearly finished. So that, well, yeah, I was right, it is nearly finished. Right, now it says unwind it, and before we do that, I'm just going to trim this off. It's there, I'm hoping that that's right, so I'm just going to slice that across there, and hopefully you can see that. I will put this down so that I can see it myself. I'm not sure whether you saw me, and then I roll the roll back so that it sits in the roll holder like that. The roll holder just gently comes off here, and you see I've got a little bit of wasted material but I wanted to make sure I put it out all the way. I shall put that roll holder over there to the side, and just put my finger underneath there so that I can roll this out again without it being a problem. And you can see that that was a fairly large piece of vinyl that I put out. Now we're going to see is black. but I will weed that for you now, and I'll show you the size of the owls I've cut. Hi, I'm back again. It's Flo, and this time I'm going to, I've weeded my owl, and I'm now going to pick it up on the Cricut transfer tape. So what I'm doing with my piece of transfer tape, which I've cut to the right size, that was because I could have done them both together, but I want to put them on separate doors, so I am putting this very carefully on the top one, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to carefully put this up. I'm going to try and line it up straight, which is not that easy for me. So just going to put it down there, and as you can see, I've got this tape all rolled up still on its roll, and as I'm bringing it down, I'm going to get my large scraper, and I'm going to scrape it down on so that hopefully that goes down relatively without too many bubbles and pieces that shouldn't be there. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get your transfer tape down, but it's also not the hardest. You can put it down all in one piece if you pick it up from one side and the other. I find that if I do that, I tend to get lots of creases in it, and I don't really want too many creases in this one because it's very big, and at 17 inches, or I think it's 17 inches that I made it, it's going to go on a door, and I want the piece to come off so that it's going to come and do just what I want. Now you can see my dot at the bottom, and it's just not quite covered with the transfer tape. However, I'm going to move this transfer tape out so that it doesn't have too many crinkles in it, and then I will stop the video and I will put it on my door. Now before I do that, I'm going to cut the bottom owl off so that I'm not trying to piece together two things at once. Now the advantage with the long cut, and I really didn't think that this was going to be me and that I would use that. Surprisingly enough, I am using it, and I'm looking at things that are able to be cut long. So this was done on the Explore 3. The Maker 3 is the same. It does the long cuts. So if you've already got a Maker so that you can do the fancy things with the Maker blades like the quick swap tools, then go for the Explore 3. It is amazing what you can do with the long cuts. And what I'm doing now, go back to what I am doing, is burnishing. Now someone asked me what burnishing was. Burnishing is pushing down on the transfer tape to make sure that the vinyl sticks to it, right? And you can see these little areas around here that the vinyl has got a little bubble round it. Now when you pick the transfer tape up off from the corner, it should just come up, and as you see, it hasn't come up yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to burnish it from the back as well. Now this should come up really well, but having said that, the back of the transfer tape, or the back of the transfer, the vinyl, is reasonably thick, as it is with all of them. but this one is probably just a little thicker, and I probably haven't got too much pressure on here because I'm sitting down. However, I'm going to push this down again, and if it's not all going to come up, I will just use my, now look, isn't that amazing? Now this one hasn't come up, so I need to burnish it a bit more, and I probably need to burnish it with a thinner one, or at least a smaller one, which I don't seem to have in my site at the moment. So if I just push this down, and then I pick it up again from the corner, you can see that the more I burnish, the more likely it is to come up as a piece. If I miss a piece, go back, burnish it down again until that sticks to the tape. And there it goes. Now I'm going to, this is quite a long piece, and as you see I haven't burnished it enough. The more you burnish it, the better your stick will be. And when I asked a very professional person who did a lot of this what the secret of picking it up was, and her answer to me was burnish, 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 and if it all doesn't come up, burnish again. And since then I have done that to find that yes, burnishing is totally the answer to picking this up in one piece. It is a very large piece, this one, so I'm hoping that my burnishing will be enough, and once I've got it all off here I will be able to show you it in reverse and show you how it's come up. In the meantime, I will just keep burnishing and burnishing and burnishing so that it comes up, and as you can see it's good to come up. Now I'm probably doing this the wrong way round, because if I remember rightly I should be putting this flat and taking this away. However, that makes it a bit harder to burnish, but a bit easier to leave all the bits on the transfer tape. All I've got to do is push them down and roll the backing down, and that makes it easier. Once you've burnished, that should be a lot easier, sorry about the others, to come out. And look at that. Oh, that is amazing. We'll push it down. Oh, push it down on the side too. Come on, little piece. That's it. Now I know I've got a dot at the bottom. I've got its feet there. Come on, feet, stick down. And that is the way it's come off. Let's see if our dot at the bottom's come off, and I've burnished that enough. And I have. Now I've got one large piece here, and it looks like I've got something on it on the inside. Hopefully that won't show, and it won't make any difference to it putting on the wall. So now I'm going to put it on the wall and again burnish it off. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to get my camera over that far because it's attached to all sorts of things. However, I will put it on the wall and see how we go as to whether I can get my camera over there or not. Now you can see my doors in my craft room are being decorated, and this is the owl that I've just put up. Hopefully you can see that without too much trouble. He is big enough for my door, and I think he looks amazing up there. It was so easy to put him on. I picked up the transfer paper, which I will come back to now. Right, I'm back, and I picked up the transfer paper. I placed it on the wall, and it almost seemed as if it wanted to stick to the wall, but it went on from the top to the bottom. I burnished it, and then I peeled the transfer paper off, and I peeled it off sort of at an angle, coming down and then straight at the bottom, and it went on so easily. There's no bubbles in it, which I was quite amazed about, especially with me, and it was amazing. So now I've got this other owl sitting under here. I don't have the backing on my transfer paper this time, and I'm going to use the same piece of transfer paper, if I can get it off the back, and just see how it goes down when you don't have little things to line it up with and put it on. So I'm going to put that down there and that down there, and see if I can just put it on from the side and do the same thing. Now this piece, of course, I've put on, and I haven't been able to line it up exactly from the bottom and the top. I'm going to peel it back and see if I can get some of those kinks out. And because I haven't burnished it down yet, I've been able to do that, so that was quite good. Now this one is going to go on my other door beside the one that I've got there, and I will do that and I will put it up. But in the meantime, you've seen in real time me cutting the owls and using the roll holder, using the Explore 3 machine, which I think is an amazing machine, and I've also got the Maker 3, so we'll be doing some more projects on that. Both of them are amazing machines from Cricut. I couldn't believe that they could come out with some extras and make a even better machine. They did. And I think that if you are looking at our competition, which this is going to go up the day of our competition, so look at our competition, because when you see this post you will realise with the competition, the prize of the competition is absolutely amazing. It's been donated by Cricut to us, and that is amazing. So please, please enter our competition, and I'll say bye for now. Like a true crafter, I'm not terribly tidy in my craft room. Sorry about that, but no, it's the way I work. Anyway, I did think that you might like to see both owls. Now I've put them up, and I've rearranged some of the boxes that I had in this corner so that you can see them properly. These are wardrobe doors that I have in my craft room, and they're hiding a lot of things. Hopefully the owls can't see them, but these are my two owls that I've now got on my doors, and I think they're amazing. I just love the machines, and hopefully come and join our competition, and let's see what you can do with yours as well. And it's Flo signing off.